Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I do not like about Hamburg compared to London. So in the last video, I talked about the things that I love in Hamburg as compared to London. I'll leave a link up here. Please go check it out. So number one on the list is the cash-only policy some places seem to have in Germany. Being from London, where we pay for everything in cards, carrying cash with me is just a myth. I never do it. I never have any cash on me. Do you know when we switched from the paper money to the plastic pound notes in London? I don't think I've ever had any of those pound notes in my pocket. I don't carry cash. I just don't do it. Apple Pay, Google Pay, that's it. But for some reason, an insane amount of establishments in Germany just do not take card payments. And I don't get it. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amount of businesses they must be losing must be insane. So many times I've walked into places and they've said to me, sorry, we don't take card. And I've just walked right back out and never returned. And for the life of me, I don't understand why they think this is a good idea. I've heard that it's because of tax avoidance purposes, but you didn't hear that from me. Even more annoying, ATMs are the golden grail in Germany. If you find an ATM, fellas, treat it like your barber. I have one ATM that I go to every time without fail. That's because a lot of the ATMs will charge you for taking money out. You know how in the UK you can use a NatWest card in the Santander ATM and use a Santander card in the NatWest ATM? Well, that barely exists here. You will get charged. So I just found me one ATM that I know that doesn't charge me for this card and I stuck to it. I go there, even if I'm 4 miles away, I'm driving my ass over there and taking my money out from that ATM. It's because I'm not going to walk to an ATM that's gonna ask me for €4.50 just to take my own money out. Number 3 on my list is nightlife. And this might just be a problem in Hamburg because I've been to Berlin and I had a great time. But for some reason, Hamburg's nightlife is pretty dry. There's nothing to do but restaurants and bars. I mean, I've been to clubs, but So if you're a raver and you love partying and you want to move to Hamburg, that's something for you to think about. Number 4 on my list is driving etiquette. And this is something near and dear to my heart. In London, being polite on the road is a necessity. In Germany, not so much. In the UK, people blink their light twice just to let you know, thanks mate, thank you for letting me through. Not in Hamburg, I let people through all the time and don't get a simple thank you. Maybe about 5% of the time somebody will say thank you, but a lot of the time they don't. And a lot of the time Germans seem to follow the rules so strictly it becomes a problem. I'll give you an example. In the UK we have something called hazard perception, which basically means do not underestimate the stupidity of the next person. In other words, if I'm driving down the road, I'm looking around to make sure that nobody's doing anything silly that can cause an accident. It's my responsibility to make sure that I'm mitigating the stupidity of the other person. This doesn't exist in Germany. So if you're approaching a junction and there's a cycle lane in front of you and there's a cyclist on the pavement about to cross that junction, you better believe that that cyclist is crossing that junction without looking at you. He is coming down that junction at top speed and does not care whether you've seen him or you haven't seen him. And I get it, you have right of way, you have the right to go, that's fine. But for goodness sake, please look at your surroundings. Make sure that I've seen you. You have to make sure that you know what's going on around you. This is one thing that they teach us in our driving schools in the UK. Hazard perception. Make sure that you see what's going on around you. Are there kids playing? Is the driver coming at full speed? Has he seen you? Have you seen him? Have you kept eye contact to make sure that you both know what's going on? This doesn't happen here. They're just gone. It's not just cyclists, drivers, pedestrians, everyone. Now, an honorable mention on the list of things I don't like about living in Hamburg is, unfortunately, the German language itself. I get it. I'm in Germany. I need to learn the language. I need to assimilate. And that's all true. I 100% believe that. But I'm just not having fun learning German. I have a German course that I attend now, and it's just not fun to me. I can speak to people on the road. I can say the basic things. I just can't hold a conversation. So that's what I'm learning towards. But I'm just not having fun doing it. And it's the truth. I'm just not enjoying it. And yeah. Now, the last thing on my list is something I have experienced about 3 or 4 times, and it's quite sad. I know racism exists everywhere, and Germany isn't particularly more racist than the next city that I've lived in. It isn't particularly more racist than London. But more than on 4 occasions where I've had disagreements or altercations with other people of other races, they have threatened to call the police. And they do this not because they want the police to arrest me, but they do this to scare me into backing down or whatever the disagreement is. And I think it's because they think that a lot of the foreigners in Germany do not have their documents or their citizenship right to be in the country. And they assume that I'm one of those people. So every time there's a disagreement, it always ends up in, I'm going to call the police. And anytime I say to them, go ahead, call the police, they realize that I do have everything that I need to be in the country. And they just stop and just walk off. And disagreement over. And it's pretty sad. I mean, as far as racism goes, it's not the top tier that we all despise, but nevertheless, it is pretty sad for people to use that as a sort of like a gotcha card. And it's happened to me so many times. I think about 4 times, and I'm really hoping that I don't have to experience that again, because it's not pleasant and it's very annoying. And I think the next time I do experience it, I'm probably gonna pull that person up and let them know that they are being racist. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, and that's pretty sad. So those are the list of things I don't like about living in Hamburg as compared to London. But make no mistake, these things are in no way a deal breaker. I still love being in Hamburg. I've had so much fun here, and it's very difficult for me to see myself moving back to London. So there are just things that you have to get used to, and by all means, I will get used to them. But you know, they're also pet peeves of mine, so no big deal. I still love Hamburg all the same, and doesn't change much for me really. So as usual, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you relate? Do you not relate? Is there anything else that you don't like about Hamburg that I didn't mention? Let us know. Let's talk about it. Like, subscribe, and I'll probably see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.